Hello there. I enjoy this one. This one's I spoke about in different contexts, little bits. UFOs and time travel seems to cross over a lot, but this one I thought I'd just concentrate on this little bit, and it's to do with those portals. What you're seeing in Peru and Bolivians all around South America. And as far as I know, there is some in Asia as well. Mm, don't quote me on that, but I know there's loads in South America. You often see them, and they're beautiful. Look like an angled door, and they're quite shiny. And there's the thing what gives it away. And often people say they've seen somebody go near them and disappear. Well, I honestly don't know if any of that's true, but just bear that in mind. So if somebody goes into it, and there was one story where a fellow supposed to knew what he was doing, took a device or chanted to some angles, and people actually physically saw him not go into this doorway and not get seen again. Well, I can't back that up, but I like the story, so I just thought I'd mention it. But I will mention it a bit further down with those um, doorways, which are supposed to be described as portals. Well, I'm going to put my two pence. Well, I think they actually are portals, portals to a different dimension, and I'm going to back this up to things what's been found. So I hope you like this one. I'm not going to go too far into the physics or that way because it's going to make it boring. So we're just going to keep to what we know and what we can get on about. Those portals, we've often seen. You have a look. We all, you would have saw them anyway. You have, and they're huge and they're all shiny and beautiful. And people say, "Oh, there's an alien cut them out," and they probably will have from a different era, a different technology, from a different time. And that's where I'm going to get at here, a different time. Now, it's just remember mediums in looking at these glass domes and the like for thousands, hundreds of years. Yeah, people have been staring to the water and predicting things. And what's that? It's just a glass dome. It's just a reflection, seen into something. Um, um, I've won about um, the project Looking Glass. Um, I've mentioned all these things before, and it's just like that. And they're the government departments working on these things, and that's what we're looking at here. But this thing goes back thousands of years, way before they admit it, and I believe they still work. Now, bear with me. In 1956, no, sorry, 1560, I think it is, a guy called John Dee, he advised the Queen Elizabeth I, the monarch of England, of duties, because this guy, he was absolute nutter on all things occultish. He knew it all. He had the largest collection of occult books and paraphernalia ever collected. If they think going, this guy had it in his room, or in his storage, in his garage. He had it. So anyway, but one of the items which was fascinating to this is the black mirror, and that black mirror is where you look into it and you can see like a poltergeist or looking back and forth in time. Now, does that not seem very familiar to what we've just been jabbering on about South America, these portals? And now going further to that, guess where that black mirror came from John Dee? South America. When the Spanish went over and nicked everything, that came over, and Queen Elizabeth grabbed it and gave it John Dee as a bit of a thank you, because she knew he was a bit of a nutter on all this paraphernalia, courtish lot, and he advised her. So here, do it with it. And anyway, that's where it came from. Now, if they had it in 1500, how many years prior to that did the South Americans inhabitants was doing this. We called it a cultist, but what were they using for? I mean, we often say, well, there's things marked all over the land, but can it be seen from the space? So who was they talking to? Look at the Machu Picchu, right on the top. What they built it there for, unless they're communicating upwards. And there's 1,000 objects out there, but let's keep it to those doorways. Now imagine if those doorways were shined up, because they are shiny already. If you, I mean, these are 1,000 years old, but imagine if they're even older, and they shined them up, probably waxed them up, so they're proper like a mirror, and the chanter did a certain chant, put lights around it, and because we're in a certain stone, a certain place on earth, maybe that's why they not only just saw a poltergeist or interacted with one, you know, something comes through. Maybe they could actually go into this doorway and as it came through and grab them, you know, disperse them somehow. I know it's I want to imagine, but not really, because that's what all that black mirror is. I mean, all they're doing is communicating with a past back and forth tense of history, not just the dead, but further up in front of us in time. So, what say they can't actually master something out of it? I mean, these people, they had a lot of knowledge in them days. I mean, they might not be able to make cars or rockets as such, but that doesn't mean they didn't master something else we've lost. And looking at the way it is, all these portals with people saying they're disappearing and they're giving off vibes, what's to say it is that? They were just like that John Dee's mirror, which was stolen from South America, I think from the Spanish, and obviously he ended up with it. And if you ever see it, it's in the British Museum. I've seen it. It's quite bizarre. Yeah, it's but you can see when you see it, it's very shiny. You can picture instead of being like that, but on the doorway. So he's there picturing you like a mirror, like because that's what mediums do. They look on a black screen of a TV and they stare into it and hope that they see a ghost or something. But taking it one step further, these guys in South America probably mastered it further. You see, and that's what I'm thinking. So when the Spanish came over and nicked all the gold, well, they didn't think that would ruin it because what they thought would ruin what was in this doorway, you know. And end of the day, where did all the gold come from? That's a food for thought, isn't it? You see, so probably there was communicating with Iowas. Maybe it's somebody from outer space said, "Look, this is how we're going to communicate with you once a year or whatever it is," and say, "Look, you put somebody in, and this is what we're going to do." But it's bizarre, but it just gets me because that John Dee's mirror came from South America, and it reflects, and it's got the same stone just as those doorways. So you put two together, you think, how can it not be? I mean, you talk about people disappearing, you know. Is that a way? Because I've often gone on this made channels on here describing that way UFOs and aliens are moving about, and they describe we see it first, and we shoot off, and just as that, maybe they see it first, you wish it first, and then you go into this doorway, look into it, and then off you go, sort of thing. Incredible, isn't it? And to think they might have been doing it 1,000 years ago, and to think the millions of tourists that walk by and never actually looked at it in that way. Maybe one day somebody may shine the stones up and actually use it as probably what it was meant to be. I mean, at the end of the day, we've known the governments around the world going to Babylon in Iraq and what they say now is taking a Stargate and things like that, But because end of the day, there's probably a lot of these areas, but probably on Earth, maybe Giza Pyramid in Egypt's probably another one, but which are just a different form of doing it. But concentrate on the South American with the stone. For me, it just sets alarm bells off. It just reminds me of one of those black mirrors, and I can't believe nobody's ever tried it. I couldn't, can't be just me. It's just thought it's whapping thing. Can it? Have a think about it and tell what you think. And it's called, I wrote it here, scrying. It's called a scrying mirror. So they have a name for it. It's been going for thousands of years, hundreds of years. But before then, they used to look into glass, into water, which is, then going further back. That's in Europe. I don't know what they did in South America. I'm not sure if it is even recorded. But so it wasn't just South America where they did. I realised that this whole way through the world did the same sort of thing, which is bizarre. But in different ways. Interesting, isn't it? I know. Makes you think. But I wish I could go and try it, I wouldn't want to damage the stone. Gosh, no, it'd be an awful thing to do. No. But there must be somebody knowledgeable who's got permission to say, look, we can put this on it without damaging the stone to make it shiny, to make it as it was. Because they must use some sort of local wax or something from the plants or something, I guess. You can imagine them put lighting where enchanted and probably get the right atmosphere, if you like, or the right situation, and off it works. Anyway, I hope you like that story. Again, it's totally true. That it's conjecture about the South America. That's just my conjecture. It's true about John D. Mirror, 100%. It's conjecture of me with the Peru doorways. I mean, they're there, we all know, but it's just my opinion why they are there. I think maybe that. Anyway, what I'm going to call this, I ain't got a clue. God bless you, everybody. Thank you for listening.